No way were the Suns able to pull this off, but after recent lineup changes, the Suns got a new spark of energy tonight, taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. After losing 7 of their last 8, they pulled up a big time victory. And what some people could ask themselves honestly, how did this ultimately work? But Mike Budenholzer had the perfect plan, and it was executed for the Suns to get this victory. And we're going to be breaking down and looking at how impactful this move that Bradley Beal going to the bench truly was for the Suns in tonight's contest. We'll be looking at all of that, plus some impactful plays from some big-time stars on that rookie development as well. All of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. And like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Let's dive into this firsthand. Without further ado, make sure to grab a snack, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said in the introduction, this worked. As we saw yesterday, Coach Mike Budenholzer kind of give out this big announcement, obviously spearheaded by Chris B. Haynes, who made the big announcement, but basically came out and said that the Phoenix Suns are going to be benching Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic effective immediately going into this game versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And what we saw in tonight's contest was some masterclass performance from the Suns in this second half to really claw them to win this game. We saw the Suns have some spurts offensively in the first half going back and forth versus the 76ers, but they were able to secure the victory 109-99 with the Sixers having no Joel Embiid and no Andre Drummond. Two key caveats, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the Suns were able to, like I said, match the 76ers back and forth in the first half to kind of make it competitive. But in that third quarter was truly where they came alive. And usually the quarter that is a kryptonite quarter for the Suns was one they were able to come out victorious in and absolute dominate with big plays from Bradley Beal leading that offense and initiating that second unit alongside some key bench players and Monte Morris, Josh Okogie, Ryan Dunn, and Oso Iguodala. Now, Ryan Dunn obviously started today, but I want to mention him as well. But like I said, we want to dive in and look at this more. The Suns shot better than the 76ers from the field, from the three-point percentage, and were pretty solid on everything as well. They were able to outscore the 76ers in the paint due to the fact of them lacking that interior presence from Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond. The 76ers were able to out-rebound the Suns, which is a little bit weird, but it was close in those regards. But like I said, Suns able to outshoot this 76ers team, and that was key and clutch for this Suns team late in the second half. The three-pointers were generating and falling down, and it was easy for this Suns team to really crawl back into it. If we want to look at the stats for tonight's contest when looking at the starting lineup, Kevin Durant was absolutely fantastic in this one for the Suns tonight. Was a big-time scorer for them, was a big-time player for them offensively. We saw the obvious switch of Bradley Beal coming off the bench being that key caveat as he was the leading scorer for the Suns and took over in that third quarter. Ryan Dunn was a perfect implement for that starting lineup, providing that 3-and-D pressure as a defensive wing, being really, really aggressive on players like Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey on that Philadelphia 76ers team to be able to get some big turnovers for the Suns to really help them out in this game. We all know the Suns do struggle with turnovers over the last couple games, and tonight was a night that they did not struggle with them, and it was able to help them prevail in tonight's contest. We saw Dunn have a big-time performance, and we also saw Devin Booker have a little bit of a shaky performance in tonight's contest, but I'm not worried about that because I think Booker will be able to bounce back. But like I mentioned, not only did players like that in the starting lineup really help out and deliver, two key players, not even two, multiple key players off the bench really came through and delivered. Monte Morris being that facilitator, being that setter up for this Suns team offensively for that second unit, really, really dominated that. Yusuf Nurkic didn't look too bad as well in the first quarter where the Suns were looking a little desperate, looking a little shaky earlier on in that first half. He was the leading scorer, but then didn't really do much for the Suns after that. Josh Okogie, once again, makes those key hustle plays for the Suns and does everything he can to help out this team. And man, oh man, do I got to give credit to one other rookie in Oso Ighodaro, because he was fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple people tweeted out, even Kevin O'Connor, how he was the Suns' best center tonight. And I know Swavey Kais obviously tweeted back at him saying that obviously he's the best center in the rotation in general, and he said true back, which it is not wrong. And I kind of made those assumptions that maybe Oso necessarily wasn't ready for that starting lineup jump. And like I said, Embiid was not playing, Andre Drummond was not playing, so it was easier for the Suns to score inside. And then obviously, because they were scoring so much inside, they were able to allow the 76ers to collapse on them on their drives and easily kick out to find shooters in the corners like Durant and like Ryan Dunn and like Bradley Beal to really get this offense into that going. But like I mentioned, the Suns had a big performance from Oso Ighodaro, who was fantastic for this team offensively and defensively and is looking like one of those shining pieces. The Suns really hit on players like Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro, and I can't believe that worked out as well, because Ryan Dunn was such a late round pick, player that was a diamond in the rough offensively, really has been able to find and turn around his jump shot for this Suns team coming into this team in the summer league and through the preseason and into the regular season. Oso Ighodaro has clearly outperformed his expectations of a second round pick and a guy who would be competing for a backup center spot with Mason Plumlee. He's clearly proven to all Suns fans that he is a guy that is deserving over Mason Plumlee in that starting backup spot, and if not starting spot for this Suns team. And unfortunately, like I said, I do believe he is just a little bit further behind from that starting spot at this very moment. But I truly believe the potential for Oso Ighodaro to be a starting center in the NBA, if not for the Phoenix Suns, is there in his hands if he truly does develop into that and you give him another season or two. And like I said, I think the Suns need a little bit of a filler center just for a little bit now to kind of hold over for Oso Ighodaro just for this season, maybe for the first half of next year as he accumulates to being a key backup, or maybe for the solidarity of the next year. But then after that, in 2 to 3 years, I truly think Oso Ighodaro could be a main focal piece for this starting five for the Suns, alongside a guy in Ryan Dunn who's already implemented himself into that starting lineup with this Suns team already. Like I said, I can't believe that this actually worked with Bradley Beal going down in to the bench role. A lot of people, including myself, I won't lie to you guys, came on today, kind of spewed some talk about the Suns and brought up the fact that if Bradley Beal in this situation does not work, I think it means that the Suns are ultimately trading Bradley Beal. And that's what I thought the solution was going to be with this team. But right now, Bradley Beal looked perfect in that role. He looked to seem like he was having fun in that role. And truly, if the Suns can win and perform with this team, with Bradley Beal coming off the bench, the issues might not be truly all there. Royce O'Neal comes back into this lineup. You can have him slotting alongside a player in Ryan Dunn. Ultimately, I do believe that becomes the expiring date for a player in Grayson Allen, as Bradley Beal will be coming and taking his shooting role off the bench. But if the Suns are able to use that Grayson Allen contract to be able to get a filler center, like I said, for this team, the Suns might be able to patch some roughages around the edges and might be able to get a solidified squad to possibly get them back into this playoff conversation, at least play-in conversation going into the trade deadline and into the second half of the season. And then ultimately it comes down to the star players really clicking. But like I said, I think these adjustments from Coach Budenholzer are not the final changes. There will be more coming, but this is just the first of many, and it first of successful changes that Phoenix Suns fans need to see with this. And I think we are going into a great direction. But like I said, let me know what you think down below in the comment section, what you ultimately think down below on this change with Bradley Beal getting moved to the bench. It has worked. It is one game sample size. We'll have to take it with more games coming at a time. But as of right now, it is seeming like it could work. And who knows if the Suns don't possibly get a trade for Jimmy Butler, if they bring back wing Royce O'Neal, have him playing alongside Ryan Dunn, are able to still find a suitable starting center for this team, we could be right back on track to getting to the playoffs. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section, how you guys ultimately feel. You guys have an absolutely fantastic show and your love. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your night, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.